be held at such a place, date and time as shall be determined by the chairperson or on a petition made by at least 5 members of that committee, but no meeting, Mr. Speaker, no meeting of a committee may be held outside the precincts of Parliament without the approval of the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, bearing those standing orders on mind, the witness who has hosted members of this committee, Mr. Speaker, this specific committee, Mr. Speaker, is a witness by the name of Mr. Speaker, Pastor Ezekiel'S. Mr. Speaker, this witness is currently on bail, out on bail. He's being investigated for at least 14 offenses that include, Mr. Speaker, aiding suicide, murder, abduction, radicalization, genocide, crimes against humanity, child cruelty, fraud, and money laundering, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, where I've reached, it is now clear that the Speaker has to guide us on the following things. 1, how did these members visit this witness in the name of the ad hoc committee when they were not accompanied by the secretariat that was named to clerk that committee? 2, why did they go to that home, the witness, without the Hansard to record the proceedings? 3, Mr. Speaker, could you clarify whether the office of the clerk funded the trip, the flights, return, accommodation, and meals? And Mr. Speaker, could you confirm whether the office of the clerk procured security for these members? Mr. Speaker, if you do so, then I'm inviting you to guide this House and guide the public on the fidelity of the report of the Select Committee in view of the fact that it's marks of compromise. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators. Honorable Senators. Honorable Senators. I'm afraid I will not allow any other senator to speak on this particular matter. I will not allow. Senator Mungatana, I will not allow. So kindly have your seat. Honorable Senators, order, honorable senators. Order, honorable senators. Kindly order, Senator Boni. Senator Boni, I think we'll start and end with Senator Boni. Order, senators. Honorable senators, kindly let us be orderly. Senator Boni, you have stated, I listened to your submission very keenly, and you stated that this is a matter in the public domain. Were you referring to maybe newspaper articles or news item? What is the source of your...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, senators.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm an experienced member of Parliament in this country.
That much I know.
And Mr. Speaker, And Mr. Speaker, if you can bear me, it's just 1.5 minutes. Mr. Speaker, I'm an experienced member of parliament in this country. Correct. 2, Mr. Speaker, I'm aware that reports from the media do not make part of what can move a senator to convince the House on any motion. Mr. Speaker, I'm also aware that a matter which is in public domain can form part of the reason of moving this House. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, sir, to demonstrate that the matter is in public domain. Mr. Speaker, membership of this House, membership of that committee is part of public domain. And because the members of that committee have spoken to that issue, and members of that committee have spoken to some members of this House, including myself, it then privileged us to be part of the awareness that the matter is in public opinion. If I am pushed, I will then volunteer the name of the senator who brought me into the loop of the matter being in public opinion. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
Order, senators.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in the history, Mr. Speaker, in the history of this country, no member of parliament or a group of members of parliament have ever sponsored themselves to meet the cost of discharging the mandate of a committee. It is in public domain, pronouncement made by members of that committee who went to who went to the home of this witness, trying to persuade us that, forget it, we sponsored ourselves. Mr. Speaker, the same members have also persuaded us, in order to dissuade us from being more angry, that I can show you how I bought my own ticket to the rendezvous. Mr. Speaker, I beg that I don't be pushed further, because this is the first time. Mr. Speaker.
Order, senators.
Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni.
This is...
Senator Boni. There is a cardinal rule. Order, senators. Senator Mgatana, as the chair, I'll give you an opportunity. I'll give you an opportunity to speak after Boni. But Senator Boni, there is a cardinal rule that he who alleges proves. So don't feel like you're being pushed far. You're already there.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to conclude by appealing to the eye in our minds that the only other ad hoc committee that captured the imagination of this country almost to the level of the one of Shakahola was when J.M. Kariuki was murdered. But the one of Shakahola has captured the country more, to the extent that when I attended one of the sittings as a friend of the committee, Senator Chergai and I, Mr. Speaker, the whole country was riveted on their chairs and their eyes were glued on the screen. Over 400 Kenyans have died in this. They are hoping that two institutions, the institution of DCI and the institution of Parliament, will give them justice. We have never had a greater responsibility than the one we have today under Shakahola. I rest my case.
Senator